How did it feel when you got diagnosed?
Oh my God. I cried so
Yeah.
much because I didn't have any information about it. It did feel like a death sentence. Even though they said, oh, it's pre-diabetes, you're not diabetic.
When my guest got her diagnosis, she said it felt like a death sentence. She was not 60. That was the age she always associated with diabetes.
So you think of diabetes, you're thinking 60 years, you can't be having diabetes around 40 or 39.
And for a moment, she thought she had done this to herself.
Part of me felt like it's my fault. Like I've done something really horrible to myself to then get a diagnosis.
Here is what most people thought about a diagnosis like hers, that it never goes away. My guest was told something different.
I'm quite thankful for the GP who explained the result. He was like, you really can reverse this. Because when you learn diabetes management, you're told it's not reversible. It's a condition that's for life. So he told me if I can change my lifestyle, I shouldn't have to go on medication.
So she did something most people would never do with a private diagnosis. She started filming herself testing food before she even had a plan.
Initially, we're going to start with statistics about diabetes in Ghana and stuff like that. But I just looked very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So then the only thing I was left with to probably share my story, that's an easier one to do. So I decided, you know what, I'm just going to put it out there. Yeah, I had prediabetes. I don't keep this in.
Most people expect health content like this to come from a dietitian. My guest is an auditor. Today, we get into what she has learned testing her body against Ghanaian food. Why she believes the answer to healing was not going to come from somewhere else. And what happens when your personal experiment becomes something your audience relies on. Here is the conversation. Hi, Maame. Welcome.
Hi, Ebo.
Yeah, welcome to Likes Don't Pay Bills.
Thank you so much for having me.
I remember our first interaction when I reached out on Instagram, and you mentioned that this is not something that you are very, let's say you are at the top. You are not at the top yet,
Yes.
so you were a bit
I was
laid
actually
back, yeah.
surprised because I didn't even have, I don't think I had even hit like 5.
No, I think you had done about 3 or 4 videos at the time. But the reason I reached out to you was because I saw what you were doing and I felt it was a story you needed to tell. So I just want you to introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
My name is Maame Kwating.
Mm.
I do have a government name, but I'll keep that one to myself.
Okay.
I'm a chartered accountant, so I audit most of the time.
Okay.
At the moment, I'm in banking, so I audit.
Right.
Most of my clients are banking clients.
Right.
I work in London. I was at KPMG. I've now moved to a top 15 firm called MHA.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm an auditor. A lot of people ask me if I'm a dietitian or no, I'm not. I'm a chartered accountant
Yeah.
who was diagnosed with prediabetes. I'm in a clear now, but maybe I am a mother. I'm a wife. I'm a sister. Yeah,
Everything in between.
everything in between.
All right. So, how did it feel when you got diagnosed?
Oh my God, I cried so
Yeah.
much. It felt like, okay, so because I didn't have any information about it, it did feel like almost like a death sentence. It
Yeah.
felt like even though they said, oh, it's pre-diabetes, you're not diabetic yet, it still felt like I felt like I'm too young. Because you think of diabetes, you're thinking 60 years, you can't be having diabetes around 40 or 39. So it did feel almost like a death sentence. Oh, and then part of me felt like it's my fault. Like I've done something really horrible to myself to then get the diagnosis. So I can't say I felt shame. It wasn't shame. I wouldn't say shame, but I did feel like I've done something to myself and I shouldn't have. So I cried. I called my sister and I cried a little bit more.
Yeah.
But then I think like a week later, you just, what do I have to do then? Like how I need to get out of this.
Yeah.
And I'm quite thankful for the medical doctor, the GP who explained the result was you can. He was Asian too, so he was like, you really can reverse this, because when you learn diabetes management, you're told it's not reversible. It's a condition that's for life.
Yeah.
So he told me I can. At least I'm not at the stage where it's so horrible. And if I can change my lifestyle, I shouldn't have to go on medication. But he
Okay.
did give me the choice to take the medication. So
Okay.
yeah, it's not a pleasant thing to hear,
Yeah.
but yeah, once
Okay.
the crying is over, you need to strap up and see what you have to do to get out of it.
Right. So how are you managing it now?
Now I'm told I'm in the clear. So
Okay. Oh,
my
beautiful.
last result was about, I think, 3 months ago. I'm actually due for another one.
Yeah.
In the UK, once you're diagnosed, you have to be subject, especially when you're Black or Asian. We have a higher risk, diabetic risk. So
Yeah.
they do tend to monitor once you're pre-diabetic. So I'm due for another test. But the last one I was in the clear, I was around 38,
Oh, okay.
which is decent. But the line is around 44. So 38 is
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I still try. At the moment, I have a few things that I do. Just this, I think the thing about diabetes is you're told to do certain things, but those are things you should even be doing before you're diagnosed.
Yeah.
If you keep doing them, you won't even get the diagnosis. So it's not as if diabetic people have to do something extreme or they have to eat very different diet. Everybody has to exercise. Everybody has to move. Everybody doesn't have to be sedentary. That's not what we're created to be. Everybody needs to sleep well, eat well, exercise, drink water. Those are like basic building blocks. And then I try to stick to them as much as every now and again I get naughty, but yeah, I
Yeah.
try to walk the narrow path.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I believe one thing that has stood out for me with regard to your content is that you have carried us on a certain journey and you are showing what you do. I mean, the things you eat.
Hmm.
And sometimes I feel it's risky because it's like you're experimenting on yourself, eating foods and telling us this is high in sugar,
Hmm.
even if we don't know it's high in sugar.
Yes.
And you test it, and at the end of the day, you come up to say that, okay, this is high in sugar, this is not high in sugar, this is what you should do after. How has that been like for you?
It's been it's been amazing because there are certain foods that, and the more I do research into this, I'm still learning about it. The more
Yeah.
I do research into these things, actually, when someone is diabetic, your best chance is to eat a wide variety of food as much as you can.
Wow. Okay.
And so the fact that I'm experimenting with foods I've never even eaten before means that I'm exposed to things I wouldn't have eaten. I
Okay.
had, prior to eating akple at the
Mm-hmm.
Medici, I had never eaten it before.
Right.
Acheke is not something I would order if I
Yeah.
were to buy. So it sent me, first of all, let's just settle this thing. I love food. Let's
Okay.
just start from there. I love food. I
Yeah.
enjoy food. If you haven't seen my videos, you know I enjoy food. So I do love to have a good meal and sit down and eat. And so what people are saying is risky. Maybe I'm putting myself on the line. I think that's everyday people though, isn't it?
Yeah.
We all eat.
Yeah.
we all
Things.
we all eat things. At the end, you
Yeah.
have to eat in
Yes.
the morning. Maybe I try to limit it to once or twice a day, but we have to eat
Yeah.
as people. We have to
Yeah.
fuel ourselves. So it's just a case of I decide to use what I'm eating as a test to show people now. What started as, okay, this is what I eat. I already have a CGM on anyway, trying
Yeah.
to monitor my glucose level. If I can then spread it to things that other people eat as well, so they can learn a thing or two because they either don't want to insert the patch or they don't have the means to, then it can, one or two people can get something out of the videos and then it helps. But
Yeah.
I'm actually quite surprised so many people have taken to it this much. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And before we started, we were having a little conversation about how you started this whole
A funny
content creation
story.
journey. Yes, I want you to tell my audience. So how did
The
all this start?
story. The story.
Yeah.
Maybe the story will make sense. If you haven't watched my first video, go and watch it because I watch it and it feels cringy, but at least novelty appeal. I just keep it there for the sake. So I already wear CGM after
Yeah.
the diagnosis and me trying to get back in because I went off carbohydrates. Hindsight, I probably shouldn't have. But now that I'm learning through foods and just trying to test maybe foods that impact my glucose level and things like that. I already had the patch there.
Okay.
And then I went to dinner with one of my friends. We have this thing that we had talked about before, where we do like a quarterly admin, where we meet together. We'll talk about business, we talk about work, we talk about, projects that we're trying to do together. So we had a pact, because she already had a social media 9 to 5 portfolio. Go and follow her. She's really good. She breaks it down like 9 to 5 as in London, how to, or in the UK, how to save and know the system, because there are pegs within the system that you can learn. So she had already started it. And then she said, we had a pact to say that I have to at least post it, because when I had the idea that I already had the patch, I should probably do videos, because there was someone in the US who also tests US foods, that it would be really fun to test Ghanaian foods and then share it as well. So we had a pact to say that in the next 3 months, when we have our next admin, I should have at least posted one video on social media. So I think we had the dinner on Friday. Saturday, I didn't want to sit on it. Saturday, I ordered ring lights. And then what did the earpiece thingy, the one that you stick to your chest?
The microphone.
Yes, I ordered the microphone. And then I ordered I didn't even have this. I have a small light I use now, but I ordered the ring lights, and then it came, I had to put it together. And then Sunday, so I didn't want to lose the momentum before. I just wanted to do something.
Do something, yes.
So now she's on the phone with me. I'll shoot the video. I'll send it to her. So you look uncomfortable. Just relax and then take the video. So after taking so many shots with so many different things, like I experimented quite a bit. Took my wig off with my hair, because my hair was quite short then. I took my wig off. I shot one without makeup. I shot a few, and then I sent it to her. So we chose one. Initially, we're going to start with maybe statistics about diabetes in Ghana and stuff like that. But I just looked very uncomfortable. So then the only thing I was left with to probably share my story. That's an easier one to do. So I decided, I'm just going to put it out there. I had prediabetes. I don't keep this in. I had prediabetes. I'll just share this story. And I did it. And the video, I woke up in the morning and I saw like 2,000 views. My mom, what? 2,000 people saw that? It was a bit cringy. It didn't even feel like. But then people started, it was more, I think it exploded on TikTok than on Instagram. Instagram was a bit slow. I didn't even have an Instagram account then, I think. I created the TikTok one. And then it was very quick. People started following quick. And then because you install the CGM for maybe 10 days, it forces you to try and test the foods because then you remove it. So I tested another one. It was even the first one I did, I think, was it eggs or Gary soaking sauce? So eggs. I was not particularly good at, putting Ghanaian meals together. I have to learn most of these things on YouTube. So the most basic thing was egg and pepper. Everybody can make that. So then I did eggs and pepper, and then I was quite shocked, like waking up and seeing people have watched the video, leaving comments. Reaching out to me in my DMs, oh, thank you for this, blah, blah. So as the videos kept increasing, people started to know maybe what I'm about and what I was trying to. I didn't even start with maybe like a concept. I wanted people to see me this way. It was just, I'm testing foods, I'll put it out there. So I'm learning with the audience, believe it or not. So they're shaping me and I'm shaping them, I think.
Beautiful. But before we continue, what's the CGM? I want to know more about it.
Yes. Okay, so this is happening on your. I've not even done it on mine. So CGM is a continuous glucose monitor.
Right.
So for most diabetics in Ghana or maybe around the world, we're used to the finger pricking device. I always like to say that CGM is maybe the finger pricking device on steroids. The CGM gives you what the finger pricking device doesn't. So the device would. It's painful to do. So it's not something that's comfortable for you to do often. So this is almost like an escape from that, where you have it installed on your arm for either 10 or 15 days, depending. So you install the patch and then you put that on your body and you have an app that goes with it. So the app takes a certain fluid we call, how do they call that fluid? Interstitial fluid also under your skin. So it's not so much the blood. The finger one uses your blood. But the device, to put it in layman's term, there's a needle.
Yeah.
That needle has access to a certain fluid under your skin.
Okay.
And that fluid is indicative of the sugar level in your blood.
Oh, right.
So it's taking that. Anytime there's a shift in your blood glucose,
Mm-hmm.
that fluid also has a shift. So it's able to take that reading. And so it's sometimes not the same as the finger pricking device.
Yeah.
And for some CGMs, they allow you to recalibrate it
Okay.
using the finger one. So
Okay.
I always like to say the CGM is almost in a league of its own, and the finger pricking device, both of them work hand in hand.
All right.
Actually, for most CGMs, you need the finger pricking device, because if it's acting up, you need to recalibrate it using the test that you've done.
Okay.
But what the CGM does is to give you almost like a sneak peek into your own metabolism or how it processes. And it's not just food. It's when I exercise, I can see it. If I go into hypoglycemia, I can see it. It would literally ring an alarm.
Yeah.
And especially for if you're diabetic or pre-diabetic and you're on medication, because you're also balancing it with lifestyle, because hypoglycemia is quite dangerous compared to even like hyper. Because hyper, you could be hyper, you struggle, but then hypo, you could die in your sleep almost. So if you're on these medications, your blood glucose could go very low. Having it there is quite necessary. It would wake you up, it will send alarm, you'll be able to. So CGM almost, I wish everybody in Ghana had maybe have it for like a month. You don't have to have it forever, but have it for a month. It will give you a snapshot into how you process sugar.
Okay.
Eventually. And that's necessary, because that's what we need to survive. Is food for your brain, is food for all the organs. And so to have a disease that sits at the center of your metabolism is quite difficult to manage. And that's why having something like this would be really good if you could afford it.
Yeah.
But if you can't afford it, it could be like an investment. Do it for maybe 2 weeks. Just see the regular food you eat, what it's doing to you, and then you can make adjustments.
Okay.
But yeah.
And I find what you are doing very important, because most of the ones I see on social media, most of the articles I read and all, are very westernized. And I don't see a lot of local content. So I was excited to see you eating fufu,
Yes.
banku, and all those things, and
In
how
the
those
portions that Ghanaians eat.
exactly and then how those things affect your blood sugar.
Yes.
What do you think inspired you to go into this kind of content?
Oh, I think in some sense, it was just me trying to maybe give back. I didn't, first of all, because we had a pact.
Yeah.
That's to start with.
Yeah.
But it was also a way to give back. I think we grow up in a society, and the society gives us, it looks after us. So this was a way to, if I'm already testing the foods, I already have the patch there. And if I share the story with somebody else and they could make a small adjustment to how they look at food or their health, or then that's like a win to me, I think. So it was more to try and give back more than anything else. And that's how I still genuinely feel.
Yeah.
It's a way for me to experiment with food. And I'm glad I'm doing this, because otherwise, why would I go and eat, this massive amount of food?
Exactly.
And I would have been scared to even eat it.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, for most people, you don't know what to eat. You're just told, eat more vegetables. But then if you grew up in Ghana, you can't just be eating salad. Like, so we can't just be eating only salad. At some point, we have to get back to our. Plus, I've always had this thing where God will not be so wicked as to put our healing somewhere else, like millions of miles away. The food we eat, if it's the one that got us sick, it has to be the one that brings us out. Because yeah, to me, talk apple. We can't all be buying strawberries and blueberries, and we can't all be eating. We have to figure out a way to eat our own food in a way that doesn't make us sick.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I was never going to stop eating Ghanaian food. I've lived in the UK for more than 10 years. But one thing that will not change is my accent, and the menu will never change. The foods I eat will never. You can't survive on fish and chips.
Yeah.
At some point, what's that with the
Exactly.
So if there's a way that I can figure out how to eat our food that doesn't spike my glucose level, because the more I'm spiking my glucose, the more my cells are exposed to insulin, because glucose goes up, insulin goes up. your cell is just like SNR cells, no insulin, because
Yeah.
it is a hormone. If your body gets exposed to a particular hormone for a long time, the cells don't respond to it the same way.
Okay.
It's almost like maybe like a very weird analogy would be drug addicts. Like
Yeah.
you get one high, you need a proportionately higher drug to get another high.
Yeah.
So that's what happens with insulin. If your cells get exposed too much, they become tired of it.
Okay.
So you want to keep your glucose level down and keep your insulin levels down.
Yeah.
But then there's always this notion Ghanaian foods are full of carbohydrates. It's
Mhm.
just carbohydrate.
Mhm.
I don't believe that either. Obi anka nkyerɛ sɛ fufuo yɛ ndi kɛseɛ sɛ.
Exactly.
Fufuo na bɛnkwan is fufuo na bɛnkwan.
Yeah.
Fish and chips is fish and chips.
Yeah.
Burger King or burger and chips is also food.
Yeah.
That has more carbohydrate load than Yejani. So in my mind, I think our food, we've just not maybe cracked the code on how we should eat it. But then to tell me that all Ghanaian foods, the food I grew up, I should just abandon all of them and start eating salad because it's because I'm trying to avoid diabetes. That's a very hard thing to ask someone to do. So I guess, yeah, that's why I'm probably enjoying this thing so much. And the foods they mention, I've never even seen it before, but you go and do research and it's like, oh, that's actually our food.
Yeah.
And back to what you were saying, I think, and I don't like to be, throw out racial, all of those comments. I don't like to rubbish the white man because we also have to have a sense about ourselves that tries to understand ourselves.
Yeah.
Because on Mome Journey, they have to research about their own food. You can't tell the white man to then stop researching their food and come and research ours.
Yes.
We have to also create a system where we are researching and understanding our foods. Because it's how why do we feel like because sometimes when we say there's not information about our foods, they can't leave their foods and come and research ours.
Exactly.
It's up to us to research our foods.
Yeah.
And so in my mind, a lot of people will reach out to me. It's good to have these because sometimes the Omobe kind of cry is not necessarily true like that because they're talking through their culture.
Yeah.
And it's not malicious. I don't think they're trying to get to us. Is that want to make research will be fee.
It doesn't work like
So
that. Yeah.
our tadri, our deme, they don't eat it. So they might not throw as much money to it to research as we should. And that's not their fault or that's not our fault. We just have to maybe sit and say, and we need to understand our own foods and how we should eat them.
Yeah.
And hopefully this provides like a small contribution to that so that we're understanding our foods and how to eat it a little bit better. Because sometimes when I'm trying to do research about some of the foods and getting the nutritional profile is something like atadre. It's very hard to get because you get very differing research materials talking about different things.
Yeah.
Because we need to fill in that gap, I guess, because it's our food. It's not if you buy anybody who will buy it's for birds.
Okay.
They use it to hunt fish and birds and things like that. But we eat it. So we have to research our own foods. But yeah.
But where do you think that should start? How should we start doing it?
I think as long as you can get people who are interested, we can always I try to leave government out of a lot of things because how can they leave the flood and come
They should leave flood
the
and
bigger
come and research
problems. Yeah, they're bigger and it's not as I would say, then you are now trying to look at other things that are not as long as you've not gone past survival needs or the things that are important as a nation, it will be difficult. And again, it might also be there's also always a push and pull with research unless something is happening, like things like they say diabetes is a pandemic in Ghana. The same way we're talking about COVID, that's how diabetes is right now. Is affecting kids. When you look at the numbers, they're scary. They scare me. I don't even like to put out the fear over there. So I don't even talk about research, but the research is scary. I have a brother who works at CSIR. The numbers are insane. Now that we have that problem, maybe there'll be more demand to understand. I think there is some type of research out there. Maybe we've not managed to get our hands on it as much, and there's more research that needs to be done into our food. So individual, we must be interested in ourselves, and it can't always be the government because they have a mountain of problems to solve. But
That's true.
as well, we have to still put the blame there because that's what we vote for, and so it's almost like a push and pull system. If there's a demand, a real demand, because people are getting sick, and that's why people like a few social media influencers like the Yeboah Kum Francis, the people who are
It's doing a
talking
good
about
job,
diabetes, Ezra Wellness, all those people
yeah.
are coming in, is because there's a real demand. People want information about their health. And I think once that momentum keeps going, you have to satisfy the demand somehow.
True.
And so even if the government doesn't do it, individuals will rise to do it. So
Yeah.
it might be we're probably in that phase, but I'm very optimistic that the more other people are understanding and talking about it, and people are getting exposed to information, and you have doctors. I do lives, and I don't even I speak, but I have doctors who come on, there are dietitians who want to talk to people. So I think once the demand is there,
Yeah.
inevitably there will have to be a satisfaction of that demand. So we will get there.
Yeah.
We'll
Cool.
get there
Cool.
eventually. I'm
Surely.
optimistic. We will. I'm just a very optimistic person, generally. So
Great.
yeah.
And so, do you think what you are building is a brand, or you think that's too strong a word to put it?
Hey, bro. I've never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
I think I've always thought about it as it's not that I need to understand social media. I still feel like I'm learning quite a lot within the space of maybe 4 months or 5 months that I've been doing this. I'm learning so much about you have to personal branding and stuff like that. I think I also don't want to do anything that, how do I even put this? I don't want to do anything that seems like it's being forced because I have to achieve something.
Yeah.
I think what will work best is for me to just completely be myself.
Yeah.
And then 'cause if you're yourself, then you don't have to struggle to come up with ideas. So
Yeah.
there are days when I think I woke up in the morning, I wanted to do an experiment, and most of the time I would do makeup and then do it. And I just didn't have it in me. And in my mind, I was there are days when I don't feel like doing makeup, and I'm just going to sit there and do the experiment.
Right.
And I was surprised at how people receive that.
Mm.
That actually it's not all the polished look, that people actually prefer me. So yeah, the makeup is going to come off. I just do it. If I went somewhere and I did makeup, and I'm gonna do it. So I think what is easier for me is maybe driving it a little bit so I don't have to push it and force it. And I'm not trying to manipulate anybody to do anything, or I'm not
Yeah.
trying to get 1 million followers, although
Yeah.
that'd be nice. But maybe I don't have all of those interests. It's just in my mind, if I did one video and one person saw it and they were going to walk after eating, that would be like a good achievement for me.
Yeah.
And
That's
nothing makes me so happy than people reaching out to say, "Oh, I started to walk after eating, and my sugar levels in the morning is dropping, or I started to eat this food." Like nothing. Yeah, I'd tear up. Like I just have, when I hear those, when people send me those, they will send me screenshots of their food or their sugar reading because
Yeah.
they've started to walk or started to do something different, and that just warms my heart. Like, it's just nice. I think, yeah.
But I begin to wonder, getting such feedback does it not put a certain kind of pressure on you, that with you sharing your personal journey and experimenting foods, uh, these are things that people watch, and it's making them take life decisions. You
Mm.
get it? Because eating is something that can affect your life in so many ways. So does that not put a certain level of pressure on you? Or you've not thought about it yet?
I think, do you know what? I put more pressure on myself than most people realize. I'm
Mm.
very maybe it's my profession. Accountants are petty people.
Yeah.
It's like I'm an accountant, and worst of them all are auditors. Accountants who are auditors were probably the worst.
Yeah.
So I probably harder on myself, and I can tell you how hard I can be on myself. Sometimes when I'm cooking the food, I can't even taste it. Because in my mind,
Okay.
if I tasted it,
It's going to affect.
it's going to, do you get it?
Yeah.
Or sometimes I will if I slept, say, at 2 a.m., I'll decide not to do an experiment. And if I did it, I have to tell them because sleeping less would impact the results.
Right.
Either I choose not to do the test at all that particular day,
Right.
or if I did it, I have to let people know, or I'm stressed out. I feel the need to explain even my starting glucose level that, oh, you see that it's 5.8 now because I'm stressed out.
Yeah.
I think is necessary that I feel, or maybe there's a maybe a tiny voice in my head is to be as transparent as I can be, or to even the parts that people don't see, to try and honor that part. So if there's any pressure it puts on me, it's not so much of it's that even I also, okay, I benefit from this.
Okay.
So there's a real selfish element of it that I
Yeah.
have to say that I personally also want to know. Now I even want to know all these Ghanaian foods. I want to try them. I want to taste them. I want to know what it does to my glucose level. So there's a real selfish aspect of it which I enjoy. But then when it comes to, because I know somebody might take a decision off of the back of this, I don't want to tell people, oh, you ate rice and it spiked my glucose and therefore it's going to do the same thing to you. If somebody is going to then take something out of me, I have to make sure that the elements are right. And if those elements change, I have to make them aware. I feel like I owe them that in some sense. Like if I did an experiment where I showed the food and I couldn't finish the food, I feel they need to put that fact out there that you saw me plate like a whole tilapia, I couldn't finish it. So then the results you see, maybe that's the kind of pressure it puts on me, but it doesn't put any pressure in terms of the core thing, which is to enjoy the food festival and then see what it does to my blood. Because I think it's a fairly simple model. So I don't feel the need, but I do feel the need to put it out there if something else is impacting my results. Like there was a time when I remember I had an exam. And so I have to put it out there because that pressure of going to write the exam means that I'm a little bit stressed.
Yeah.
And so then whatever test I did, if I had a higher spike, part of it might be because I'm stressed. But that's also everyday life. And so if I can tell people that, then you know that if you're stressed out and your morning reading is 5.8, is not that bad because you're just stressed out. So I think everything I do, as long as I can keep that information or the parts that people don't see, I can honor it, or I can maybe in some sense sleep at night knowing that I'm not trying to, because I don't have anything to win or lose in this sense. I'm not trying to make a particular food look better. I really want to know. So it's not like I want Banku to win over Kinky. I don't have that. I enjoy them both. So there's no reason to. So it's easy to put that information out there if for some reason I feel like something might impact it. Or if you're reading now, so I can tell people it wasn't enough for me. So I can put that out there without feeling the need to maybe hide it or make it all perfect. It's just, and people are not. I also like to think people are intelligent enough. It's not like do you get the point? It's
I
like
get it.
you're dealing with, and social media does that to you, isn't it? The more you're exposed to content, you can almost fish out when somebody's being ridiculous. I think the vast majority of people really can know it when you're trying to manipulate them. And what for? What would I? It's not like I run any advertisement. I get approached by. I have had brand approach me, and I don't even know how to do these. Run these advertisement show, and first of all, I've not had the time to, and so people would approach me with like brands, and if I feel like it doesn't maybe align, I'm not trying to introduce someone to a product that they might not like. So maybe the easiest is that I don't have any real self-interest in this. The only self-interest is wanting to know what food does to my glucose level and then put that out there. Maybe if and that's not to anybody. If you're a business owner, I'm a business owner myself, and I have another page for that, and I've never even felt the need to maybe introduce my audience to the product that I sell, or because that's separate from this one. But then if you're a business owner as well, I think there's still elements you can glean. As long as you can you'll be surprised how people can resonate, even when you think this is just me. There are certain thoughts that I brood on that I felt like it didn't, and I put that out there. It popped in my head, and I felt like, and those ones that I thought I was weird by thinking them, actually, when you put it out there, people are like, oh my God, I do the same thing.
Yeah.
So no matter how you feel, like people don't understand, they really do, and they're really very intelligent as well. And so the more you try to use, just like like hooks, you have to have hooks. You don't have to have any hook. You just talk to the people.
Yes.
It's just like you meet someone and have a conversation. Talk to the people. Because I have tried that where I'm trying to, and it doesn't even feel natural. Like I've recorded videos where I'm trying to use a certain phrase I heard people use, and it just feels so weird.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel like me. So I think as long as you can feel like you, we're quite similar as humans in a way. And so if you can feel like you, people would see through that. And even if it's not something they can resonate, they can see the authenticity. I think people are smarter than we give them credit. So people come and say, oh, you have to put it at the, because I used to add this phrase that my results will be different from yours and things like that. And then I started to write it on the graphs.
Yeah.
And then somebody would come and say, you have to tell people that they're not going to react the same way. It's like, you're probably underestimating how intelligent people are.
Yeah.
Of course they know
They
don't.
know.
They're not going to get a 2.5 spike.
Yeah.
First of all, everybody cooks fufu differently in their own homes. This
Exactly.
is just to give you an idea.
Mm-hmm.
And now people are not just going to stop eating fufu simply because they saw an influencer. Actually, Nkofobeka say, oh, why you kele no me hu so memfa. They
Exactly.
see
Yeah,
what
they, I
that's
mean,
doing to
yeah,
you, but
yeah.
it's not like they're going to base their entire life decision on things like that. So I think being true to yourself and being authentic, whether you're using social media for business or you're using it for sharing your personal story, or because you never know where this takes you.
Yeah.
I started off without knowing. I might one day decide to merge my business with social media, or heck, I might have like a brand deal and start selling things to people. Is just being authentic is easier to wake up in the morning and be authentic than to now go and pick up a certain hook that you're trying to hook people to what. It doesn't work on me. Sometimes maybe if I heard a phrase and I heard another phrase, now I don't want to listen to you because I've heard this before. So if I can being authentic, I think I don't know how to explain it. Being authentic, whether you're using social media to sell a product or you're using it to tell a personal story, or is a way for you to even vent, or being yourself is easier because you have to film content every day. There has to be an element of it you enjoy, and you enjoy it more when you're within your own element. But if you're feeling like you now need to go and get a hook from all these media people, like even ChatGPT or like I've tried that concept where they'll go and they'll give you a script, and it's like, I don't know if this machine can give me a script for me to communicate to Ghanaians. It would just be very tough, and there's so many things you're going to say that's just not me.
Yes.
And people who are content creators, you're not in isolation. People knew you before you became a content creator. So ask yourself, if somebody who knew you before saw you, would they think, "Ah, why is she behaving like this?" You don't exist in a vacuum, and you'd be surprised if you were completely. It's the most natural way to be able to get as much content as you can out without feeling like it's a lot of work. But if you're now feeling like you need to go and get a certain hook, and I think there's a science to it, and it's good to study the science of it and understand how it works. There's a psychology to it, and if you can study it and understand it. But I think if you have not managed to understand the science of it, being authentic really does the job, I think.
That's a very powerful point that you've made. And I also think that especially with these hooks, people are, how should I even put it? People are dying for it. Like the content creators want, and there are people out there who say, I have a hook template that you can just use,
Lord.
and it's just becoming too much. And you realize that a lot of content are very identical because of that, and people are not really themselves.
Exactly. Yes. And there's also, I remember somebody reached out to me and talked about another influencer, and if I could speak more Tree. I laced my content with Tree. as much as it feels natural to. If you ask me to completely do a content in Tree, I might try it. It just might not be, because I started it in English. I might try, and I'm not saying people shouldn't experiment, but then I think the easiest way is, and people would always have suggestions about, and they mean well. It's not like they're trying to catch you out or trying to push you. I think they mean well. Even the people who are creating all these templates, they mean well.
They do.
But then the hook is not the, if you got me in the first 2 seconds, they say first 2 seconds or 3 seconds is necessary. I can leave at any point. Nobody's tied me to any video. If you're scrolling on TikTok or on Instagram, you would really genuinely stop at a content that's important to you or makes you feel a certain way. So you can have the most amazing hook. Are you going to hook the entire 20 seconds you have the video? Your hook is 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Is that if you're authentic, your people will come to you. And I know there's also a saying to it that, oh, you want to reach more people, and that's true. People need to see your product, people need to see the story you're telling, people need to see what you're doing to make the impact that you set out to. But think about it, there's got to be an anchor of where you are. The rest of it, some of it is peripheral. If you can have a nice background for it, absolutely try that out. If you can speak a particular way, but if you have to twist yourself in a way that's unnatural, I think longevity will be hard to keep up because it's just not you.
That's very true.
So yeah, hooks are good. I don't know. If it feels natural, if you had a hook that feels natural to you, use it. But most of them they've been used, abused. You don't want to sound like, and some of them is just like, it's also, the audiences are different. I know humans are humans, but different cultures will respond to different things. And that's why I try, because people have asked me to do, content for Nigerian food, and maybe I could try it in the future or do something. But it's just, I am Ghanaian. I know how to relate to Ghanaians, and I can't eat it for Riro and Eba. I might try one time just for the sake of it. But I think if you stuck to whatever your audience are and understanding the market, and I think these social media platforms are quite good with giving you analytics of how you were doing, because I remember when I started my videos, do listen to them, look at them. I would look at literally the analytics of every single video.
Perfect.
Every single video, I look at it. Maybe just I just want to see. I started off with, I think, 1 minute 20-second video. They used to be quite long. And then I saw that people are not watching it all the way to the end. So I started to make it slightly punchier, try and bring in the facts that are most important. And then people respond. So I really look at the analytics. I see how things are going. And then I adjust because you're trying to give information to people out there. You want the information in a format that they can consume. You can't also sit down and say, oh, I'm just completely being myself. I'm going to rant for 5 minutes. You can't get your points across. So there's a fine balance between the two, I guess. So that you need to maintain in some sense. I'm surprised I'm giving social media advice. Like
I told you obviously have something.
And then I try to respond to comment. I love the comment section. My goodness. I absolutely adore the comment section. I have such a laugh. People say the most ridiculous things. I genuinely enjoy it. When people say, oh, I'm down at the comment section, it's not down. That's where all the fun is. That's where all the fun happens. So DMs are nice, and I try to respond to DMs. Even that can be just too much. But comment section is
that's
just
where the fun happens. I mean,
I genuinely enjoy. When I go to a content creator who is not responding to their comment, what are you doing? This is where this is where I love it. I absolutely love it. They say the most ridiculous things, and it's so much fun, and it brings lightness to something that's so serious. It can't. If you're diabetic, this thing is with you for a little bit. Maybe you reverse it at some point, but it's with you. It can't always be. And I love that as Ghanaians, we can laugh about the littlest, the most serious of things. We can still try and find humor in stuff like that. So I love comment section. My goodness. If you're not so what, you post and you go away.
It's
this is where the fun happens. Post. I usually want to post at a time when I can actually look at the comment section as they come in, because I'll be there. Like, I'll be right there.
Yeah.
I'll be right there
Yeah.
with you guys, just answering them.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
Perfect. Perfect. And then one last thing I want us to talk about. I saw when you started, and recently, I mean, when you confirmed that you could.
Obetche Masiana.
No, 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 no. I mean, I saw a little change. Now you have a meal plan, a 3-day meal plan, and I tried it. I went through the process.
Did you?
Yeah. So I went in there. I saw that you are taking data, I mean emails, and
Mhm.
then I just want to walk through that decision making.
The meal
What
plan.
what made you decide to put out a new plan, and how has it been? How have people
Responded
accepted
to
it?
it,
And then have
yes.
people accepted? Have people given you feedback?
I'm shocked. So
Yeah.
the meal plan came about. So a lot of people, I get a lot of people in my DMs because
Yeah.
I think somehow people think I'm not a dietitian. I need
Yeah.
to put this out there. I'm not a dietitian.
Yeah.
They go to school for long years for that. I'm not trained to. I know about food because I eat a lot of it, but I'm not a dietitian. But people reach out to me so much. So this was almost like a summary
Mm,
of some of the foods that I've done, which has a low glycemic impact on
okay.
people that maybe somebody thought it was so horrible, I don't want to
Yeah.
eat it, but now
Yeah.
they could. So I get a lot of people reaching out. And in the background, what
Mm-hmm.
I share what I did because I was diagnosed with prediabetes. I was told they can give me medication, but then I can change it with the lifestyle. So I share a lot of how I changed my diet,
Okay.
the things I have learned. I also have I've done courses in diabetes management. I've done
Okay.
courses in food and nutrition.
Right. Right.
Like a dietitian, but I've
Right.
done courses just to try and understand first of all the disease and how with it or manage it. So the meal plan is just because I answer a lot of maybe say the same thing in my
Mm,
DMs, telling
mm,
people the things that I did because I was on a very strict regime for 3 months.
mm.
In my mind, if you told me I was going to reverse something, you best believe I was going to take it.
Yeah.
So I was on a very strict regime of exercise. At some point, I was walking 20,000 steps a day.
Wow.
And when I did my first test, it came out I was still like, well, I was,
Borderline.
no, borderline is 42,
Okay.
diagnosed with 44, then 42. In my mind, I feel like I've done all the things. I've
Yeah.
lost weight a little bit. At the time, I put on a lot of weight. I'd lost weight a little bit and it didn't go. So the next time in my attempt to, I was like, do you know what? I'm not going to do 20,000. I can do 6,000 steps a day. I'm just going to do
Yeah.
6,000. And actually, that produced a better result
Wow.
when I wasn't stressing myself out and getting worried and eating one meal a day. So in my mind, you can actually correct this without necessarily doing a complete overhaul and doing the most jogging around, running around. You don't have to. So because I was answering the same DMs of and people say, I don't know what to eat. So again, within ABD, like you don't know what to eat now. This. At least you have
Yeah.
this. You have
Yeah.
this. And these are real Ghanaian foods that people can eat and still keep. I have done it myself, the
Mm.
3-day meal plan. I've done it myself just to see how it does on the glucose monitor before I even released it. I created link tree
Yeah.
also,
Yeah.
and
I
I
saw that.
I
Yes.
put it out there, and I got like a ton of emails like overnight about
Yeah.
people. I think a lot of people were attempting to
Yeah.
download it, and then some people said they couldn't. They tried
Mm.
on the link, they couldn't. So I'd done it in a post as well. So I
Yeah.
put it in a post so that
Yeah.
it's easily accessible to people. But I did it only because I keep answering the same questions. And sometimes the people who are not well, it's not nobody wants to be sick. Let's
True.
start from there.
True.
Everybody who is sick or feeling any type of way, they really just want to get out of it.
Mm.
But then the difficulty is where do I even start from? And sometimes it's not even where do I start from. You might know what to do, but then just the momentum to start and do something. That's why I love what Ezra Wellness, also another influencer or content creator, does
Yeah.
is to just mobilize people and say we're fasting.
Mm-hmm.
So people like to join things like that, not because they
Yeah.
couldn't have done it. It's that when you have a whole party that you're going with, it just feels a sense of community is just nice. So I
Yeah.
thought, let me put this out there and yeah, if people can. So people have asked me to do meal. Can you extend it by 1 week or so? And I think as we do the testing and we know which ones are good for us, would add onto that list and maybe update it to
Beautiful.
be like a week plan. Soon we have like 2 weeks plan that's based on purely Ghanaian meals. That's practical
Yeah.
and not like I'm eating small portions, like because of Vinci and India is very tough,
Yeah.
and let's not forget, if you're diabetic, and you need to live it to understand it. If you're diabetic, pre-diabetic, the way you feel hunger is not the
It's
same.
different. Yeah.
And somebody didn't get to being diabetic or pre-diabetic by eating small meals. And now you tell them to eat small meals. You're asking me to do the impossible. I can't eat, I want to say 100 grams of fufu.
and,
Hey, one
and you know one
control.
thing about that measurement is 100 grams. How am I measuring that?
Even if you
Yeah.
got a scale,
Yeah.
it just feels so
Like
unnatural.
yeah.
So there are a lot of hacks that people ask that we try. So I want to do something that's practical.
Yeah.
Everybody can walk.
Mm.
Whatever size you are, you can walk
Can
after
work.
eating.
Yeah.
Apple cider vinegar is good, but do I want to lose my enamel
Mm.
by drinking on a daily basis? Almost use a straw. Even if you drink straw, have you ever seen if okay, why do people drink Coca-Cola with straw? You think they don't taste it? And if they tasted it, where do you think it came from?
Mm.
Because even if you use straw, the
It
drink
still
is still going
goes
to land
there.
somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to lose my enamel. So I try to look at Ghanaian foods in a way that we can hack, first of all, in a way that is practical to the average Ghanaian,
Mm.
whether you're living here in Ghana
Mm.
or in the UK, and I think I now look, even on Instagram, I think only about 40 something people are Ghanaian who watch me.
Oh, okay.
Most of them are or people who live in Ghana.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them are in other regions,
Right.
other parts of the world. And so you want to be able to suggest something that's practical to most people.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody can walk after eating.
True.
Everybody can drink at least 1 liter of water before lunchtime.
Mm-hmm.
So things that are practical, and if you're changing your lifestyle, you can't it's not something,
Yeah, you can just do
diabetes or
that.
pre-diabetes doesn't happen like a year before you become pre-diabetic. You've been insulin resistant for at least 5 to 6, 7 years ago. You were insulin resistant and you have built a certain lifestyle. You can't now tell the person to switch and now start eating. It's not possible.
True.
So my aduane deɛ portion there, everybody just have to deal with it. Because
Yeah.
I eat large portions. I just don't eat small portions. I'm not doing it for the cameras.
Mm-hmm.
Me need to laugh about home.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I can't eat any less. And say if you eat less and you're not full, you will do something else.
Yeah, that's
And
when
those things that you do, you don't count them as food because you didn't sit at the dining table, you didn't sit down on the floor and eat the food.
mm-hmm.
Now you're hungry, you reach out for maybe 2 biscuits, polo be trim, you take care, like some slice of watermelon be, you eat those, all those add up. And that's when the problem arises because you were not full from the food. You've now eaten a bunch of other things that's like now your glucose is going this way. Insulin then stays high because insulin is not coming down. Even if glucose goes down, insulin will stay in your blood for another 2 hours.
Mm.
So then the minute it goes up again, insulin goes up again.
Mm.
So then your insulin is staying high the entire day simply because you ate a small portion
Mm.
and then you started to eat all these tiny little things, a little biscuit over there, bibi and Ghana's phone says dawson and chiriek kakra.
Yeah.
There's so many nice
Exactly.
kati cake,
Yeah.
they're all
Yeah.
over the
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
You have access to them very easily. So then you're now hurting. So practically is to eat a food portion. And in any event, if somebody's going to make a decision on the food I'm eating, i.e., I saw her eat this portion. If I came and I ate 100 grams of rice and I said, oh, it gave me just a 2.5 spike, somebody might interpret the results, say, oh, rice is actually not that bad.
Mm.
So the portions, I'm glad I eat large portions. If I didn't eat like large portions, I ate very small portions, then it means that people are going to see results that is not really reflective of what an average person is eating. So I'm glad because most of what I see out there, insulin resistance one, I used to watch that as well. The food he's eating rice. Nobody eats rice alone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Nobody is
Yeah.
Or maybe, eat your food in order. How do you eat fufu in order? Tell me, fufu. You can't eat fufu in order. So it has to be, the solution has to make sense to our food and how
Yeah.
we eat it. So portion at the end of the time, we have to eat
Yeah.
sizes that make us full. And
Yeah.
the best way to do that is to bulk up on vegetable, bulk up on protein, and have a little bit of carbohydrate. That way
Yeah.
you still get to eat the food, or put the vegetables inside the carbohydrates. You still feel the same thing.
Yeah.
Put the fiber inside the carbohydrates
Yeah.
and bulk it up. So I can eat banku of that size, but that banku, half of it is atadre fiber. So psyllium husk. How many people get access to psyllium husk? Outside the country is quite cheap. It's quite easy to get. But then equally, atadre is also, it has high fiber.
Yeah.
No atadre milk. Don't throw the chaff away. Fiber is all around us. Put it in your food and bulk it up.
Yeah.
Bulk up on maybe vegetables. And vegetable doesn't have to be carrots and green pepper. It's also the contomere, ademe, the okra, the garden eggs, all of those ones, kwain susa, all those things. You bulk your food up with it. Because your stomach there doesn't know. So I think all of that maybe drives me to try and do this. And in any event, if I would eat a bulky food, I just need to figure out a way to eat it in a way that gets me full. So I don't have to think about food maybe in the next 5-6 hours. Because,
Nice.
say go pesca. Nobody has time.
That's it. That's it.
Nobody has
And so
time.
if there is someone who wants to, maybe not someone who is pre-diabetic, but someone who wants to create content about his or her personal journey, while also educating people, what advice would you give to that person?
I would say have a conviction. That would, I think, in the days when, if you have a conviction, that's when I feel like you can go around what the algorithm decides. Because
Yeah.
let's face it, every content creator is working for the algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
And you're working for an algorithm that's not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Because we like to think it's perfect, but it's really not.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you don't have that anchor, that's when it's going to shift you in every direction.
Yeah.
And if that's the type of content you want to create, then that's fine. But if it's educational content and you want to make impact, it's having that one conviction, because that would be the center of it. That's what's going to anchor you. Everything else is peripheral. The format might change a little bit. How your audience might even change.
Yeah.
You might even change as a
Mm.
person. It would be ridiculous to think you won't change. You might change as a person. But that anchor, which is for me, my anchor is that I love Ghanaian foods. I was pre-diabetic. I'm introducing Ghanaian food back into my diet. And I want to know what it does to my blood glucose. That will never change. That's the anchor.
Yeah.
Now, things like the presentation of the facts as I see them. And I've had people, I take feedback when I read the comment section. Somebody says, "Oh, the numbers were not audible enough for me to see." I can make changes to those.
Yeah.
So tell us your starting glucose level. I can add that in. So you can
Yeah.
see that in terms of presentation, even my content keeps changing
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
response to feedback, because you have to take feedback from the people. They're the ones you're doing that for. So if
True.
they tell you something, you take it and then you
True.
adjust.
True.
But then if somebody came and asked me to test something that's different from what the anchor aim is, then that's where we're going to run into a little bit of difficulty. So I say, if there's something, it's not, you're not doing it for the sake of, I want to go on social media. Nobody, I don't think most people want to do that. It's not like I want likes or a million views or whatever. That would be maybe if you're selling a product or something. But if you're trying to create education, I think at the core of most people trying to educate, it's not that they're trying to get money. They're really trying to give back, or they're really trying to, or something has happened in their life and they're trying to get people not to go there. I don't want anybody to be diabetic. It's a terrible thing.
Yeah.
So that would drive me to want to do more. So in the days when like TikTok has been a little bit weird these days, like you post something and then the views are a little bit low, because I post similar content across platforms. So if one is not doing it, I know there's something that's not quite right. And so it doesn't bother me. I can have one view on a video that I spent hours producing and it still won't bother me, because that one person saw it. So I think have an anchor. The rest of it, be open to maybe making adjustments and changes to what I refer to as maybe peripherals. Have what is driving you, stick to it and stick out. And then it has to also be something that you can replicate.
Yeah.
So if it's educational content, there's no limit to what you can come up with. You
Mm-hmm.
don't even have to like run like, they say Ghanaian food to finish. Never. Have we seen all the foods from the north? We haven't. Have we gone to the central region to see the food?
Yeah.
There's infinite possibilities there. And if you're creating an educational content, I think people always want knowledge. We all want to understand something. We all want to have an in-depth. And so if you have an experience to share, I'd say have that anchor and just keep going. And then it's okay if one day I get up and I say I don't want to do insulin resistant GH anymore. That's also okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's not life or death situation, you know. If it's a business you're doing, you would veer into another business. You will
Yeah.
start another business. Everybody who's done business knows that it keeps changing. Today,
Yeah.
you're selling product. One day, you might wake up and say, I want to get into real estate
Mm.
and start channeling your money there. One day, you wake up and say, I want to be an investor in startups. So the only thing is to have fun with it whilst you're doing it, and then if there's a change comes, be open to changing. If you feel like I've been creating content for 5 years, I hear such stories and it's so excruciating. Oh, I've been doing content for 6 years, I was stuck at the 200 view jail for. It's okay if it doesn't work out. That's also fine. If I was
Yeah.
going to do this, regardless of whether I got the views or I didn't get the views, but if I woke up one morning and said I've been doing this and maybe only 200 people are interested, I'll take those 200 people and talk to them directly.
Yeah.
If no
Yeah.
one else was interested and those 200 were, I'll still try to create that impact. And if those 200 people said I've had enough of you, that's also okay. At least one person has been touched. That's 200 people who are not having diabetes.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a win.
It's a win.
So, regardless, just know what it is you're trying to achieve. And then it doesn't, because it has a way of sneaking up on you. And as for the followers and the people there, they will say things. If somebody has asked me to open a restaurant, like, bruv, I know nothing about restaurants. So because it's also the excitement, they feel a part of something.
Mm.
So have an anchor, listen to people, make changes if you can, watch the analytics, read it there, it's there for your benefit.
Yeah.
Watch it every time you can. And then if you try all of that and what you're saying doesn't land with people, it's just like if I was selling a product. You see how they can discontinue a product.
Yeah.
They sell a product, it probably didn't perform as much as other people. They're investing into it, they pump money and pump money into it. If it doesn't work, they might look for something else. And sometimes something might not work. And then you look for an adjacent product and
Yeah.
then that start working.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
be open to don't be rigid about it.
Yeah.
Have fun as you go along. And I know by saying it, I'm not insensitive to the fact that this is someone else's job and this
Mm-hmm.
is what they earn their bread from.
Yeah.
But what I also want to say is that your bread cannot come from
One.
one place only.
Yeah.
Like, you're not a tree. You can
Yeah.
change every time. There are opportunities around.
Yeah.
You might not see them now, but be open. Just be looking and be open to changing it.
Mm.
And one of them might hit.
Yeah.
And if you have to stick it and stick it in there, some people stick out for a while
Mm.
and it works out. If you've got that stamina,
Just
go
do
at
it.
it.
Yeah.
But if you feel like you don't, it's okay too. It's not that deep. It's deep, but it's not that deep. So I
Yeah.
try to have fun with it and say, if one day I woke up and people feel like, oh, we've had enough of it, that's also okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's deep, but it's not that deep.
Yeah.
And at every point in time, you can reinvent it. So it's the pressure, because there are times when I create content for a while and I get tired.
Mm.
I wake up in the morning, I don't feel. I'll eat that day, so I can still record. But maybe my yet sees it that I never record or tease it. I don't have to force it and still record it. It's okay that you take a break.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I take a break and then it's only you feel like you can sneak it out, and then people start to DM you like,
Yeah.
I've not seen any new video for the past 2 days,
Yeah.
3 days, and I'm like, okay, fair enough. I'll create one, or
Yeah.
maybe I'll do. I've been traveling, or I've been doing that, but mm, don't. I'd say you do your best,
Mm-hmm.
but then you're not too attached to anything too much.
Mm-hmm.
That would certainly help. It will help with mental health, because I think content creation It would test you. I think mentally it can be very draining sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, checking the videos, seeing, because you've put your heart into something and you've put it out there, and then you want to see a certain amount of success coming from it. And if it doesn't happen, it does. I feel that too sometimes. Like you make a video. There's some videos I make, I'm like, oh, this video is so this is going to, and then it doesn't perform as you thought it would.
Yeah.
And then there are some that is like so low effort, like and then people absolutely love it. It's just what it is. And you're not going to have every video is not going to go viral. Every video is not going to have 1 million views, or even if you have like 2,000 views, like why do we disrespect views like that? 2,000 views is a
It's
view.
a lot.
It's a lot. It's
Yeah.
2,000, like 2,000 people saw that.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
But then I think unless we're hitting 1 million, we just feel like we've not, had it. And then I think maybe be open to collaborating with other people, getting other people's niches as well. I know I don't do enough of that. I just don't have the time to. But then be open to sitting in front of other people's audiences and market yourself. I think I remember when I started, I was too shy to let people know, first of all, I'm doing content creation. I was very shy.
Yeah.
And then when I started to get a little bit more comfortable, I think 2 months into it, I was feeling like, even my friends were telling me that, oh, these days, I say, my bold.
Sharp.
Yeah. So when I started to get into it, then I started to put it on even my WhatsApp pages, my personal pages had them. Now I share stories to my, my personal handles and stuff like that, so that now I'm proud of the work that I'm doing. So be proud of it, whether you're getting 100 views or 50, that's your work though. And I think once you're true to these elements, I don't think there's a magic formula other than the fact that it has to be you. And if people are coming, you could be selling product, you could be selling that, but they want you.
Yeah.
And as much as you can give, you just give it, and don't overthink it or overdo it. Or maybe I think when you overdo it, you overdo it, then it's like too much effort. And then if that effort is not yielding too much results, then
that's when you
and seek help if you can. I've called is it Ira? She's on she's a pencil artist. She's so good. Yeah, like I'd call her. Yes, so I managed to, thankfully somebody connected us, and I'll call her and then feel things out with her, because she's so brilliant at what she does. Like if you try and network with other people as well who are doing the same things that you're doing, and maybe let's all just be open to do more collaborations, or because it's a space, it's wide, like if the fact that you have 1.5 million followers, I can follow as many people as I can. So if introducing another person on your platform doesn't mean that you're going to lose your followers to them. They can follow that person and still follow you as well. So it's not a case of exactly. And they can get it from two different sources. So let's just be unique, so that then we are not all copying each other, and the landscape is looking nice. We can go there and get as much information as we can. It's fun. Let's just keep the fun going.
Let's keep the fun going. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming here once again.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Maame started this because the doctor told her something that most people never heard, that her condition could be reversed. She did not set out to build a brand. She set out to understand her own body, and she allowed people watch. What she built came from being honest and not from being perfect. Lies don't pay bills, but the truth usually does if you are willing to test it on yourself first. I will see you in the next one.